My father's first words on entering Westminster Abbey yesterday were a pledge of service. It was a pledge to continue to serve, because for over 50 years, in every corner of the UK, across the Commonwealth, and around the world.
What if the real power move in the British royal family isn't happening on some grand balcony, not under a crown, not even at a flashy state dinner, but quietly, behind locked gates on a massive private estate where cameras never get close? Because right now, something serious is unfolding inside the House of Windsor, and most people don't even see it coming. Prince William is tightening control in ways that feel calculated and deliberate. Meanwhile, Camilla is reportedly scrambling behind the scenes, trying to figure out her position. And the question that's quietly spreading through royal circles is getting louder by the day. When Charles is gone, does Camilla still have a place, or is she completely out of the picture? Now let's get into the part nobody saw coming, the estate situation that's flipping everything upside down. This all centers around a property that has quietly turned into the core of a royal power shift. Prince William has reportedly been named the sole beneficiary of one of the most secretive estates tied to the monarchy. Not Balmoral, not Windsor. Something way more hidden, way more controlled and protected for decades by Queen Elizabeth II herself. We're talking about a property so deeply under wraps that even its existence shocked insiders when it finally came to light. That's how quiet this was kept. And what makes it even crazier is that William didn't fight for it, didn't push for it. It was already set in motion years ago. The late Queen made sure of that. Through a quiet but powerful legal setup, a covenant trust, Queen Elizabeth II essentially locked this estate into William's future. Think about that for a second. This was someone who saw decades of family drama, betrayals, and shifting loyalties, and still made a move like this ahead of time. That's not random, that's strategic. Experts say these kinds of trusts are built like fortresses. They don't activate until very specific conditions are met. In this case, once the Queen passed and William stepped fully into senior royal responsibility, ownership transferred straight to him. No debate, no back and forth, no one else even had a chance to step in. And here's where things start getting tense. There were reportedly others who had their eyes on that estate. Names have been whispered, and the moment this decision became known, it sent real shockwaves through royal circles, especially around Camilla and her son, Tom Parker Bowles. He's known publicly as a food writer, sure, but behind the scenes, there were talks that he could have turned that estate into something profitable, maybe even built a brand around it. One royal commentator even said, "In today's monarchy, every asset has potential. But not everything is meant to be turned into a business." And that's exactly the line Queen Elizabeth II seemed to draw. She didn't just pass down property, she protected a vision. That estate wasn't meant to be flipped, marketed, or turned into some luxury brand. It was meant to stay exactly where it is, under tight control. And now William is the one holding that power. This moment proves something people often forget. The biggest royal decisions don't happen in public. They stay hidden until the exact moment they hit. And when they do, it's already too late to change anything. The message here is loud and clear. This is William's territory now, not Charles's, and definitely not Camilla's. Now let's talk about the moment that reportedly pushed William over the edge, because this is where emotions start mixing with power. Back in the summer of 2025, something happened that didn't sit right with him at all. King Charles was at Balmoral in Scotland, dealing with serious health issues, keeping things low-key while battling cancer. At the same time, Camilla was out in the Mediterranean, enjoying a luxury yacht trip under the sun. That contrast didn't go unnoticed, and it didn't look good. Reports say William saw this and was genuinely upset. From his perspective, his father was going through something heavy, and instead of standing beside him, Camilla was out living freely like nothing was wrong. That kind of move raised eyebrows fast. Sources even claim Charles himself felt some type of way about it. There was talk that he felt disappointed, maybe even hurt. And with the added detail that he had already secured financial support for Camilla after his passing, people started questioning if she was getting a little too comfortable. William definitely clocked all of this. One royal advisor reportedly said he cares deeply about his father, but at the same time, he's not ignoring what he's seeing. And behind closed doors, there's talk that he's seriously not happy with how everything played out. What made it worse was the perception that Camilla felt untouchable. That word alone caused tension. According to someone close to the situation, she was moving through the palace like her position was locked in no matter what happened. And in William's eyes, that's a problem. Because from his standpoint, nobody in that family should ever act like they're above consequences. Not Prince Andrew, not Harry, and definitely not someone whose place in the royal family has always been complicated. That summer situation didn't just pass by quietly, it stuck with William. It gave him something to think about, something to remember. And now, people are starting to believe he's already planning how things will change once he takes full control. Early signs suggest he won't follow the same approach as his father. Where Charles may have been more accommodating, William looks like he's ready to be firm, maybe even ruthless if it comes down to it. And then came the first clear move, subtle but powerful. Camilla's sister being removed from the royal payroll. No big announcement, no public drama, just a quiet shift that spoke volumes. Because in the royal family, power doesn't always come with noise. Sometimes it moves in silence, and by the time people notice, everything has already changed. These kinds of power moves don't come with announcements or loud headlines. They happen quietly, almost like nothing changed, until you look closer and realize everything did. That's exactly how Prince William has been moving ever since taking control of the Duchy of Cornwall after inheriting it from his father. No speeches, no warnings, just action. One of the first moves that caught attention? He removed Annabel Elliot from the Duchy payroll. Now that might sound small at first, but this wasn't just anyone. She had been deeply involved in royal estate design since 2005, shaping the look and feel of multiple properties over the years. We're talking about someone who had real influence, backed by both King Charles and Queen Camilla. Royal expert Emmy Griffiths pointed out that she wasn't completely cut off. She still works with Charles and Camilla privately, but removing her from the duchy? That sent a message loud and clear. Because this wasn't just about one role, it signaled that William is reviewing everyone tied to that system, especially those connected to Camilla's side. And just because someone had a place before doesn't mean they're safe now. That's the shift happening right in front of everyone. Annabel spent years building her position, supported heavily by Camilla and backed by Charles. But William stepped in and made a clean move without noise. No drama, no explanation, just done. And that silence? It made it even more powerful. According to Joe Little, once William takes full control, he'll have the final say on everything, and that includes every person connected to the duchy. Nothing is guaranteed anymore, and every role is now under review. And let's be real, this doesn't look like someone waiting patiently for the future. This looks like someone already stepping into it. William is making it clear that loyalty to Camilla's family doesn't automatically carry over to him. That connection? It stops where his authority begins. Now, on the other side of this, things aren't just calm and quiet. Reports suggest Camilla isn't just sitting back, she's pushing back. And right in the middle of all this tension is King Charles III, stuck between his wife and his son. A former royal photographer even shared that Camilla believes William is stirring problems within the monarchy. According to that insider, Camilla sees William trying to create issues and she's told Charles to stop it. That's serious pressure behind palace walls. And here's where it gets complicated. Charles is being pulled in two directions. On one side, his son stepped into power. On the other, his wife is trying to protect her position. That kind of split creates real tension, not just headlines. Apparently, one of the breaking points came during royal balcony arrangements at public events. Something as simple as positioning turned into a power signal. Reports say William wants a more dominant presence, while Camilla is resisting anything that looks like her role is shrinking. Even small details are turning into big statements. At the same time, there's another angle. Some sources claim Camilla is actually stepping back from the ongoing tension between William and Prince Harry. One insider even called William a hot potato for her, suggesting she's choosing to stay out of direct conflict and let things play out on their own. So now you've got two narratives happening at once. One where she's actively trying to control the situation, and another where she's keeping her distance. And honestly, both could be true depending on the moment. What's undeniable, though, is the tension between William and Camilla. It's there, and both sides know it. Royal expert Christopher Anderson even suggested that William doesn't fully accept her, only tolerating her as his stepmother. And on her side, there's talk that she feels uneasy around him. And that feeling makes sense when you think about it. William isn't just another royal, he's the future king. Her position, her comfort, even her long-term place in the royal world. All of that depends on decisions he hasn't even fully made yet. There's also history there. People haven't forgotten that as a young boy, William reportedly asked his father not to marry Camilla. That kind of past doesn't just disappear, it lingers, shaping everything that comes after. Now this leads to the big question that's quietly hanging over everything. When William becomes king, where does Camilla actually go? And that brings us to Balmoral, the estate that carries more emotional weight than almost any other royal property. This place isn't just land, it's legacy. Since the time of Queen Victoria, Balmoral has been the royal family's private escape. Her husband, Prince Albert, purchased it back in 1852, and it's been part of the family ever since. Queen Elizabeth II turned it into a tradition, spending late summers there, creating memories that defined generations. We're talking about 50,000 acres of deeply personal royal history. But here's the key detail that changes everything. Balmoral isn't part of the Crown estate. It's privately owned. That means when Charles is gone, it doesn't automatically go to Camilla. It transfers directly to William. And just like that, one of the most important royal properties becomes part of his control, not hers. Now here's where things get even more complicated. Because when it comes to royal estates, nothing is automatic and nothing is guaranteed. As part of a private estate system, the future king, Prince William, is not legally required to provide anything for his stepmother. That's right, no obligation at all. Still, tradition says a widowed queen, known as a dowager, is usually given a secondary residence to live out her later years. But this situation? It's not that simple. For years, Queen Camilla has had her own personal escape, Ray Mill House in Wiltshire. She bought it back in 1996 for £850,000 after her divorce, and it's always been her comfort zone, her safe space away from royal pressure. But then something unexpected happened in early 2026. Records showed she transferred ownership of that house to her children, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopes. That move raised eyebrows instantly. Because now the question is obvious. Why give up control of your private home unless you're planning something bigger? Is this just careful estate planning? Or is it a sign she's expecting to rely more on royal properties in the future? And if that's the case, does she believe William will provide one for her? Then there's Clarence House, the place she's called home since marrying King Charles III back in 2005. On paper, it seems likely she could stay there. But here's the catch. The structure of her household, her staff, her funding, all of that will ultimately be decided by the next monarch. And based on everything we're seeing right now, William doesn't look like he's in a generous mood at all. Every move he's making points to control, not comfort. Now let's talk about titles, because this is where things get even more symbolic and even more serious. When Charles passes, Camilla doesn't just disappear from royal life. She becomes something very specific, a dowager queen. That title might sound formal, but it carries a lot of weight. It means she would still hold a recognized place in the royal family, just not the same status as before. The most likely title? Queen Dowager. But here's the twist. That decision isn't automatic either. It falls directly into William's hands. And while royal tradition usually guides these choices, there's still room for interpretation, and that's where things get unpredictable. Some people might wonder why she wouldn't be called Queen Mother, like Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother. But the answer is simple. She isn't William's mother. That title only belongs to someone who is both the widow of a king and the mother of the reigning monarch. Camilla doesn't meet that standard, and that changes everything. So technically, William could stick with tradition and allow her to be known as Queen Dowager. Or he could shake things up completely. There's even a slim chance, though unlikely, that she could use a lesser title like Princess Dowager or return to something like Duchess of Cornwall. But that would break modern royal patterns in a big way. And let's be honest, whatever choice he makes will send a message loud and clear. It won't just be about titles, it will reflect how he truly sees Camilla's place in royal history, and how he balances that with the memory of Princess Diana. Because this isn't just protocol, it's personal, it's emotional, and it's political all at once. Now step back and look at the bigger picture, because this isn't just tension between a stepson and a stepmother. This is a full-on clash of visions for the future of the monarchy, and only one direction is going to win. William, alongside Catherine, Princess of Wales, is reportedly building something very different. Their chosen home? Adelaide Cottage, tucked inside Windsor Great Park. Not a palace, not a massive castle, just an 8-bedroom home focused on family and privacy. And if this plan holds, William could become the first monarch in centuries to not live in a traditional royal palace full-time. That's huge. That's a complete shift in how the monarchy presents itself to the world. Royal correspondent Danielle Stacey noted that the family is already settled there. The kids are in school nearby, life feels more grounded, more normal. And they're still close enough to Windsor Castle to handle official duties without living inside the spotlight 24/7. Now compare that to Camilla's reported plans, including ongoing renovations at Buckingham Palace, even adding a library. On the surface, that sounds like legacy building. But if William has no interest in living there, Then what's the point? Why invest heavily into a space the future king doesn't even plan to use? That's where things start feeling disconnected. One insider even claimed that Camilla wants Charles to stay on the throne as long as possible. Not just out of loyalty, but because she knows her position shifts the moment he's gone. That awareness says a lot. Still, despite everything, there's a layer of complexity here. Royal expert Christopher Anderson pointed out that Charles's health struggles have softened William's view slightly. He sees how Camilla supports his father, how she brings out a more human side of him. And that does matter, even if it doesn't change the long-term plan. And that leads to a very real conclusion, summed up by royal expert Richard Eden, who said it plainly. As Dowager Queen, Camilla would be stepmother, not mother to King William. That line hits hard, because it reminds everyone that her future position won't come with automatic respect or influence. It will depend entirely on what William decides to give, and what he decides to take away. So when you connect all the dots, the estate control, the quiet power moves, the yacht situation, the title uncertainty, it becomes clear this isn't random at all. This is a strategy unfolding in real time. William isn't waiting for the crown to act like a king. He's already shaping what his reign will look like. And in that vision, Camilla's role? It might not be as secure as she once believed. Not even close. And if you really look at how everything is lining up, it starts to feel less like coincidence and more like a calculated shift happening step by step. Nothing is being rushed, nothing is being announced, but piece by piece, Prince William is putting his version of the monarchy into place. The key thing here is control. Not loud control, not aggressive moves in public, but quiet decisions that slowly reshape the entire structure. Removing people from payrolls, reviewing roles, limiting influence. These are not random actions, they are signals. And every signal points to one thing. When William takes the throne, things will not run the same way they did under King Charles III. Now think about where that leaves Queen Camilla. For years, her position has been tied directly to Charles. Her influence, her status, even her daily role, all connected to him being king. But once that changes, everything around her becomes uncertain. And that uncertainty is exactly what's driving all this tension behind the scenes. Because unlike a queen mother figure, her place isn't locked in by tradition. It's flexible, it's adjustable, and most importantly, it's controlled by William. That's a very different kind of power dynamic, and it explains why every small move right now feels bigger than it looks. Even something like housing, staffing, or public appearances could shift quickly depending on what William decides is appropriate for his reign. And here's where it gets even more interesting. William's approach doesn't just affect Camilla. It reflects how he sees the monarchy as a whole. He's not trying to maintain every tradition just for the sake of it. He's choosing what stays, what goes, and what gets redefined. That means fewer excess roles, tighter circles, and a system that revolves around direct lineage rather than extended connections. And in that kind of structure, someone like Camilla, who came into the royal family later, naturally ends up in a more limited position. It's not necessarily personal, but it definitely feels personal when you look at the history between them. Because let's not forget, this isn't just about titles and estates. There are years of emotions, public perception, and family dynamics all tied into this situation. And people are watching closely now. Every appearance, every decision, every quiet adjustment, it's all being analyzed for clues about what the future will actually look like. Because once William officially becomes king, there won't be any more waiting to see. The direction will be set instantly. And based on everything happening right now, it's clear that direction is going to be more focused, more controlled, and a lot less forgiving when it comes to who holds influence. So while nothing explosive has happened in public yet, the groundwork is already there. The moves have started. The tone has been set. And if this continues the way it's going, the real shift in power won't feel sudden when it happens. It'll feel like something that was quietly decided a long time ago. And when you step back and really take it all in, it becomes clear this isn't just another royal headline. It's a slow, calculated transformation happening right in front of everyone's eyes. No dramatic announcements, no sudden shakeups, just quiet moves stacking on top of each other until the entire balance of power shifts. Prince William isn't waiting for the crown to define his authority. He's already acting with it. Every decision, from estate control to staffing changes, is shaping a future where the monarchy runs leaner, tighter, and far more controlled than before. And in that future, there's very little room for uncertainty, or for roles that don't directly align with his vision. For Queen Camilla, that reality is impossible to ignore. Her position, once secured by her connection to King Charles III, now sits in a space that feels less stable with every passing moment. The titles, the residences, the influence. It all depends on decisions that haven't been publicly made yet, but are clearly being shaped behind closed doors. And that's what makes this so intense. It's not about one single moment or one dramatic fallout. It's about a series of quiet choices that are redefining everything. The estate moves, the payroll changes, the subtle distancing. They all point in the same direction. William's monarchy won't just be a continuation, it's going to be a reset. A reset where tradition still exists, but only where it serves a purpose. A reset where public image matters more than ever, but excess and complication get trimmed away. And a reset where loyalty isn't inherited, it's evaluated. That kind of shift naturally creates tension, especially for someone like Camilla, whose journey into the royal family has always been complex. She's navigated public scrutiny, rebuilt her image over time, and carved out her place beside Charles. But now, the question isn't how she got there, it's whether that place holds in the next chapter. Because once William steps fully into power, the decisions will no longer be gradual, they'll be final. Who stays where? Who holds what title? Who maintains influence? All of it will be defined quickly, and likely without the emotional weight that shaped past choices. This next phase looks more structured, more strategic, and far less flexible. And maybe that's the biggest takeaway from all of this. The monarchy isn't just evolving, it's being reshaped by someone who understands both its history and its weaknesses. Someone who has watched closely, learned quietly, and is now moving carefully. So while the world waits for official announcements and major milestones, the real story is already unfolding in silence. The groundwork has been laid, the signals are there, and when the moment finally comes, it won't feel like a sudden change. It'll feel like something that was set in motion long before anyone realized just how serious it was.